biology is really chemistry, and chemistry is really physics. So basically, everything is physics. If everything is physics, how come that our DNA twists one way and not the other? The molecular structure of life on our planet has what's known as a handedness. It's that many organic molecules have an orientation. But just how come that this handedness came out this way and not that way? It might sound like that's a question we might never be able to answer, but in the past couple of months, scientists have actually made some progress. Let's have a look. We're used to writing molecules in forms of the atomic elements they contain, like H2O, 2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen. But all molecules are three-dimensional arrangements, and the interactions between the atoms give rise to specific angles between them. In the end, which angles the molecule has is, of course, all a question of quantum physics. The thing is now that for many molecules, there isn't just one energetically ideal three-dimensional arrangement, there are two. These two shapes are identical except for their handedness. The two shapes are mirror images to each other, like two hands, hence the name, though it's technically referred to as chirality. It means that you can't match them onto each other by any rotation in space. You'd have to do a reflection on an imaginary mirror. The weird thing is now that for what physics is concerned, these two handednesses should have the same probability of being created. So how did life on our planet came out to have only one handedness and not the other? It's an interesting question not just because it's curious, but because if life evolved on other planets, it'd be good to know whether it'd be likely to have the same handedness. It'd also be good to know how this handedness came about for practical reasons, which is that if one synthesizes molecules in the laboratory, one might want to have only one handedness because the other one might have very different biological effects. The best example for the relevance of biological handedness is the tragic story of thalidomide. Thalidomide is a drug that came on the market in the 1950s and was sold under the brand name Contergan. It was recommended to pregnant women against morning sickness. An estimated 10 to 20,000 babies were later born with birth defects caused by the drug. It turned out that thalidomide really contained two different molecules with the same composition, but of the opposite handedness. One of them was later linked to the birth defects. Before we shed light on the mystery of organic chemistry, I have a recommendation that will shed some light onto your walls, and not just any light.
Very interesting. Left-handed life.